couple of months back, the call was costing about 30 paisa to 35 paisa per minute. Imagine it was costing 8 rupees 40 paisa in the beginning of this century. So this is essentially the change which has happened. And now telcos are offering unlimited call facilities. So you talk as much as you want, and at a fixed price, and data. Today, data revolution is happening. In fact, today India is consuming more data than United States of America. India is actually consuming 1.5 exabytes of data per month. And on an average, an Indian is consuming 4 gigabytes of data per month, as against 1.8 or 9 gigabytes in America. So this is the revolution which has happened, and today this is the scale at which we are operating. Aadhaar, that's another infrastructure I'm going to talk about. One might think that Aadhaar is a software, but I think this is a soft infrastructure on which other things are riding. So Aadhaar has got into, Aadhaar was scaled to 1 billion in 5.5 years. We issued the first Aadhaar on 29th of September 2010, and in 2016 we had about 1 billion plus Aadhaar numbers issued. So that's a digital identity, which is A, it's a platform. B, it is inclusive. Everybody gets Aadhaar. Everybody who resides in this country gets an Aadhaar. It's actually world's first digital identity which has no eligibility. Every identity thus far had eligibility. Driving license is actually a document which enables you to drive, which tells that you are a driver. Identity is an inherent component of that eligibility document. Passport is a citizenship document. Election ID card is again a document which tells that you are a voter. Aadhaar we created as a completely, just proves your identity. X is X, that's all. It has no eligibility components, and that's why it is so inclusive. It does not even have citizenship as an attribute. That's the idea. So once you start having citizenship, then citizenship becomes one of the things which becomes a non-inclusive kind of stuff. It is cost effective. Aadhaar, people talk of various, when we started Aadhaar, people said it will take 150 lakh crores. One Aadhaar's total cost from enrollment to Aadhaar generation to Aadhaar communication and 7 years life cycle cost of authentication is just less than 100 rupees. So thus far, Aadhaar system has been able to spend less than $1.5 billion. It's just close to £1 British pound or $1.5, so to say. So this is the Britain started their ID card, and cost of one ID card was 135 pounds. We have created this system in just £1, just less than £1. So this is hugely cost effective. It is built for a scale, 1 billion plus. Speed. We were doing Aadhaar generation at the rate of 1 million per day. One of our teams had gone to some place and some country which has a population of 6, Papua and New Guinea. So 6 million, and our people met the president of that country, and he says, how many years will it take for us to give this kind of identity to every citizen? And they said, just take about 6 days, because we are doing at a rate of 1 million per day. So that's really the scale, the speed at which we did this. And the platform, now this is also future proofing of technology. It's actually built, the uniqueness property and authentication property of Aadhaar is really unique in the world. You could not have created uniqueness unless, for 1 billion people, unless you use the biometric attributes, and that's why we have used iris, both iris and 10 fingerprints. And that's actually, that not only created uniqueness, it also enables you to authenticate your identity online. And this is a truly digital identity which can participate in any digital transaction. So that's another very, very important property. And I'll tell you some numbers which are happening. The third one is mobile, another is the digital identity, and third piece I'm going to talk about banking. See how banking has gone 2.5x in 3 years. We gave in 49 years starting from independence, there were only 14 new banks which were opened. In the last 3 years, we have opened 21 more banks. And now we have a concept of differentiated banking, which means that you have only payment banks. So payment banks are there which will offer, and generally all these banks and institutions are all digital. They don't believe in the brick and mortar structure, so they are basically doing this in a digital manner, and they are using electronic KYC for enrollment. Today you can open a bank account sitting at home. You fill up a form on the computer, then you authenticate yourself using Aadhaar, and that goes both your electronic KYC and your consent document digitally can go to the bank, and the bank can open a bank account. That's how it is. That's the digital transformation which has happened, and it's all about. Now, all these three things, Janadhan, Aadhaar, and mobile. I talked about mobile first, then Aadhaar second, and the banks. These three, the trinity of Janadhan, Aadhaar, mobile, called JAM, this actually is empowering so many human beings. 300 million accounts, bank accounts, were opened using electronic KYC in a matter of months in the JAM, in the Janadhan Aadhaar mobile. So this is the Janadhan scheme of the Honorable Prime Minister. So this is how this whole transformation has taken place, and now almost every Indian resident has a bank account, and if one wants to open a bank account, it is so easy to do that with the electronic KYC, because previously people were not able to open the bank account because they did not have any verifiable identity papers. See, two factors which led to Aadhaar were, one, many people in this country did not have a verifiable identity document, and because of that they were denied access to many formal systems, because every formal system is going to ask who you are, prove that you are who you claim to be. So that was one problem which Aadhaar solved. Another problem which Aadhaar solved was leakages which were taking place, duplicates and ghosts in various beneficiary systems, and how do you clean up systems from the leakages. So that was another part which actually was one of the reasons to start Aadhaar. Now, in the entire digital world, all of you are the sort of digital people in some sense. You know that all the innovations in the digital world takes place in a layered manner, like Digital India, infrastructure, software, and empowerment. Similarly, on all these layers, one is the technology which the government has. For example, internet was developed as a part of one of the US government projects. So that's how it, and then of course on top of that you have open APIs and platforms, and you have smartphones, and you have payments and all these applications, and now you have e-commerce, taxis, hotels. Every application is being powered. That's the architecture typically of innovations in a digital world. So world-class products are built on basically platforms, API-based platforms. So these are the base. Then of course you have cloud infrastructure, you have operating systems, smartphones, maps, payments, and applications. Now, what is happening in India is that world-class products are being built on these kinds of platforms. So imagine we have Aadhaar as a digital identity infrastructure. That's the base platform. On that you have authentication. Aadhaar authentication is taking place. Aadhaar electronic KYC is taking place. We have the world's first product, eSign. Now typically for digital signatures, as you all know, you have to have a key pair, private key, the KPI infrastructure, as you say. So there's a dongle which has both these keys. And when you want to sign a document, you plug in that dongle in your computer, and then that document's hash value is signed, and you attach the public key, and everybody can open, and that proves authenticity and integrity of the document. Now we said, look, if I can prove my identity online real time, why should I need this dongle? Why can't I just put up a document and say I want to digitally sign it, and after I authenticate my identity, some provider who provides the eSign facility can just provide me the key pair online real time and digitally sign the document, that's it. So from an CapEx model, we have gone to OpEx model. The digital dongle